One of the inventors of Google said that that's how it was invented, Google Images. There was so much traffic trying to find that dress that they invented it so people could find it. Hi, I'm Jennifer Lopez, and these are some of my biggest moments. Selena. Playing the role of Selena at the time was a great thing because I was so young. I was in my 20s, I was in my early 20s, and even though I knew it was a huge responsibility and I wanted to do a great job, there's kind of an ignorance that you have at that age, like how big it would be and how big of a responsibility it was, you know, and how people were looking at it. I just kind of just delved into the character and into getting to know her as much as I could and watching every piece of tape I could find and spending as much time as I could with her family, who were very generous to let me get to know them, and they were still in a lot of grief. She had just died 2 years before. So it was a very special project, obviously, in my life. That whole project was full of big moments. Auditioning for it was a big moment. Screen testing for it, 5 auditions later was a big moment. Getting the part was a big moment. Doing the press conference for getting the part was a big moment. And then the premiere, obviously, and it being, successful. That it was all amazing. Selena was a natural performer. She never took dance classes or anything. She was a singer. And she happened to be a natural dancer and a great performer. So the way she performs is very different than what I do now. But I loved learning from her. Her ease on stage and her looseness was something that I had to learn because I was such a choreographed dancer. That part of it was a real blessing that I got to kind of walk in her shoes and dance in her shoes in her way. There's certain things that really define who you are as an artist, and I feel like that was something that really defined a time in my life. Things that define your life as an artist also define you as a person. And there's a part of you that learns and grows in the best characters that you do. And I feel like Selena was that for me.
Everyone's got to make a living.
Jenny from the block.
What's the first thing you think of when I say that?
The song and how many times I've performed it since I put it out.
If you had to put a number on how many times
Oh my God. I mean, all the time. Many hundreds of times. The lyrics to that song are still relevant to my life now because growing up in the Bronx really defined who I am. It was written for me by someone else who was from New York as well, and who understands that when you grow up in New York and you grow up in the Bronx, that there's a part of that that never leaves you. Growing up in the Bronx and being that person from the block is really a huge part of who I am still today. I just think, the big moment for that is whenever anybody comes up to me and calls me Jenny from the block, or like, oh my God, and they get excited, and they don't go, there's J-Lo, or there's, oh my God, there's Jennifer Lopez, the actress. They relate. They're like, you're one of us. Some people just really go to that persona. The Versace dress. I didn't have anything to wear for the Grammys, and my stylist showed up with 2 dresses, and the green dress was one of them. I tried on both dresses, and that wound up being the one I wore that night. I think, the next morning I was on the cover of USA Today and on the cover of the papers. I knew, I was like, oh, okay, this hit a chord with people. My confidence in wearing such provocative clothing. I don't see it as provocative. I see it as sensual and sexy and beautiful. Well, Donatella was doing a 20-year anniversary collection of that print, which became a very big print for them over the years. And she was going to do a whole show dedicated to that print and reinventing that print. And she asked me to walk. And I said, yeah, of course. We've been very close for a long time now, so. American Idol. I had just had my babies. They were 2 years old, and I got a call from my manager, Benny Medina, and he said Simon Fuller wanted to come over, who was the inventor of American Idol, and he said, that some people were going to be leaving and they were going to be revamping the show, and he asked if I would want to be a judge on American Idol. They came over with an envelope, with an offer in it, and it was a good offer, I decided that I would do it.
What music are we gonna dance to?
I just wanna dance.
At first, maybe I thought, I don't know if this is the right thing for me. But as I thought about it, I really loved the show. It was more of a competition reality show about music. And I love music so much, and it's such a big part of my life. And I knew I would have something to contribute to it. So I felt like it would be a good way to kind of reintroduce myself back into the business again, into the public eye.
Don't cry, because I'm gonna cry. Stop it. Stop it. Oh.
You did it.
Oh, no.
I was brought to tears many times on American Idol. Yeah. You know, it was an emotional show about people's dreams and struggles and what they would do to get there and the things that they had gone through in their life that inspired their artistry and their music. Monster and all. Working with Jane Fonda was amazing. She's an amazing actress, obviously, and she had left the business for about 10 years, and so it was her first movie back, and she was very excited. Said that she did the movie to work with me, which was crazy. I was like, really? I've never thought of myself in that way, but she was amazing in the movie, and we had the best time working together. The cake scene, I remember, you know, her kind of putting my head in the cake. I remember her falling asleep in the stew, you know, different funny moments that we had on the set that were really great. El Cantante. El Cantante was the first movie that I produced, so it was a big deal for me. I was putting this movie together that was a musical. I knew that Mark, who I was married to at the time, would play, and always knew that even before we were married, because I always was trying to develop that script. But it was a special project, and it was a special character for me to play too.
I read that at the time you felt like your performance went a little unnoticed. Do you still feel that way? Yeah, I did at the time. I felt like both Mark and it's a very difficult thing for a real-life couple to play on screen and be convincing as the characters. And I felt he was so convincing as Hector Lavoe, and I was so convincing as his wife. And just because of the fact that it was a low-budget movie and we didn't have the money to market it and promote it in the right way, that maybe it got overlooked a little bit. But
you know, we haven't been straight for more than 3 hours a day for, 20 years? Since we met. And we just go on with life like this.
Honestly, it's a flawed movie. I don't think it was a perfect movie, but I do believe that the performances by Mark and myself were something that I'm very proud of to this day. Out of Sight. Working with Steven Soderbergh was such a great experience for me. I found him to be so clever and so smart. He's one of the few directors I've ever worked with. I've done, I don't know how many movies, over 30 movies or something like that. He was the only one who would come up and just sit next to you in the scene by the camera. He wouldn't watch a monitor. He just wanted to see your face and feel the energy of what was happening between the actors at that moment. I just loved that experience of working with a director. I always remember that about him. It was a great part for me. I think it marked where I was kind of, leading lady status. That was really special too. Hustlers. My character in Hustlers is named Ramona. She's, a bit of an entrepreneur, I like to say. She's a single mom from the Bronx who is a stripper and has been in the strip club game for many, many years. And during the crash of 2008, decided that she needed to be a little bit more enterprising and figure out a way to make money when nobody was making money in that business. She's kind of a mama bear and a scary and kind of a pimp at the same time. So she's unpredictable. You don't know what you're gonna get with her. You could get a lot of love or you can get a slap in the face. It just depends if you mess with her money or not. Money is her main objective.
Was it hard for you to get into that mindset?
It was, because I've never been somebody, and people will be like, oh, yeah, right. But I've never been motivated by money. I've always been motivated by, I want to be a great actress, a great singer, a great dancer.
I want to make movies, I want to make music. And the money came along with that. And now that people know that you have money, they go, oh, yeah, right, you're not. But I'm not, and I'm still to this day not. So to play a character, I do things because I love them. I didn't get paid a whole bunch of money for Hustlers. I did it for free and produced it. I bank on myself, you know. And it's like Jennifer Lopez. She says, I do what I want, I do what I love. But it was kind of a really different mindset to get into to play Ramona. I had never been somebody who was kind of that bad. This person was really unapologetically savage when it came to what she wanted. And that was a brand new thing for me. It was fun when I was playing it. It was scary when I was watching it. Obviously for the pole dancing and, you know, to be playing a stripper, you know, I was gonna be showing a lot of skin and my body, so in a way that I hadn't ever before. So it was a lot of training and strength training and then pole dancing training, and it was really, really difficult.
What if you don't have muscles to do that?
You have muscles to do this.
I don't have any.
Every girl has muscles to do this. This one, this is a martini. Fireman down. I visited a lot of strip clubs, not a lot of strip clubs, a few strip clubs. I talked to a few girls, and I got what I needed from the experience. I think people have a perception that they're ashamed of it, or it's something they want to hide, or it's something that, you know, they should feel bad about. And they don't. They're like, we're dancers, we dance for money, we're proud of our bodies, I feel fine. You know what I mean? There's this little bit of a bravado, and it takes balls to get up there. So, you know, it takes, you know, a lot of strength. I found with playing my character some damage there. And so, again, these are not simple characters. They're very complex with a lot of things going on inside of them. And I think that's why people are responding to Ramona, because she had so many different colors, in a sense, for lack of a better word, or different dimensions. I was a centerfold once.
No way.
93.
Way. Oh my God.
Back when Stevie Wonder came in.
What the Stevie Wonder come to the club for?
As a producer, it's super satisfying to me that people love the movie. You know, that there's been such a great response to it, that women especially, and men, by the way, love this movie. I've heard so many girls going, I'm going with 5 of my girlfriends, I'm going, me and all the girls from the office are going, and that's kind of been, it became like a movement. It wasn't just a movie. It was just like, this is our movie where we run shit. They know it's all women producers, women director, women writer, all women starring in it. And they kind of took ownership of that. And we've been watching men take advantage of women in movies a long time. And so it was a fun kind of ride to see the tables turned.
Do you feel like the next big moment is winning an Oscar for us?
I don't know. I mean, it would be nice, but we'll see. I mean, I'm really happy that people even have me in that conversation. That feels good. That feels really good.